Okay, so in this lecture, we will study about countability and separation axiom. So let me discuss some of the basics of this countability axiom. So as you can see that, for Eurytion's metrization theorem, we need all these important, we need to understand all these important terms. So first of all, let me discuss countability. So you can see that topological space X is said to be first countable space if it satisfies the following axiom called the first axiom of countability. And for this, the definition is that for each P belonging to topological space X, there exists a countable base at P of open sets containing P such that every open set G containing P also contains at least one member of this collection, which we are claiming countable basis. So this is the requirement. I mean, around each P, for each P, we have a countable class of open set such that whenever there is any other open set which contains this P, then whenever there is an open set containing P, then in between from this collection, from this basis around containing P, we must have at least one element which is contained into that open set G. So this one is the requirement for countability. So from here we can observe that this one is a local property because we are looking at the collection of bases containing P. So that is what written here, that in other words, a topological space X is first countable space if and only if there exists a countable local base at every point P belonging to X. So at every point P belonging to topological space, if we have such a countable basis such that whenever any open set is given to us, there must be at least one member from this collection, countable collection, such that there must be at least one countable member from this countable class, such that P belongs to this member BP from script BP, and then which is contained into G. So if this happens for every X belonging to X, for every P belonging to X, then we will say that such topological properties are first countable or they satisfy first axiom of countability. So let us understand it with the help of some example. So here first claim is that suppose X be a metric space and let P belonging to this metric space be any point, then recall that countable class of open spheres with center at P is a local base at P. Why this is countable? Whenever we have P. So around this, because we have a metric, so with the help of metric, I can always construct a sphere of radius say 1 by taking the center, then of radius half, and so on, SP 1/3 and so on. And this one is countable. Why? Because you can see that here radius, this is going mapping with 1, this is mapping with the indices 2, this is mapping with the indices 3 in general. 1 by n maps to n for every n belonging to n. So clearly this set is countable. So, and each of them is containing P because we have taken center as P. So around this P, we have this countable collection of open spheres with center at P, and this is a local base at P. Now claim is that this is first countable. So clearly this one is a basis, this one is a base, as well as this one is a countable. This one is a countable. So this is the reason why why every metric is, and such type of construction we can always do in metric space, because see, whenever any to this P containing, whenever any we have some open set say G, then in between this G I can always have at least one member from this collection. I mean, one can choose radius, suppose this G one can choose radius in such a way such that this lies within this particular G, within this open set G. So this type of construction with the help of metric one can always do. I mean, one can choose its radius in such a way that this sphere is properly contained into the set G. This is the reason why every metric space is first countable, or say it satisfies first axiom of countability. Now this one is another example. Suppose X is any discrete space, I mean space X with discrete topology. So the claim is that the singleton set P is open and is contained in every open set G containing P. We know that in discrete metric space, see, around suppose X equal to R, just for the sake of explanation. I mean, let me consider any point P from the space. Let me consider any point P from the space. Okay, any point P from the space. Then we know that singleton P. This one is our claim is that singleton P is a local base for this point P. Now you can see that, see, whenever any open set containing this P is given to us, then one can always choose, whenever any open set G containing P is given to us, then one can always have this singleton P which is containing P and which is contained into G. From this collection, and clearly this one is countable. So that is what written here. That whenever whenever open set G containing P is there, we always have singleton P containing that P and which is contained into that G. So this is the reason why any discrete space, whatever be this space X, obviously X is non-empty, then every discrete space is first countable. Every discrete space is first countable. Now here, as I told you earlier, that see this result that we have studied in metric spaces and in real analysis, that if any f is said to be continuous, f is continuous at A, if and only if whenever an converges to A, implies f of an converges to f of A. This type of things we have studied in metric spaces. Suppose X is equal to metric D. Now question is that whether this is true or not when we extend it to topological spaces. When we extend this to topological space, then whether this is true or not. So in arbitrary topological space, this result is not true. But if your topological space is first countable, then again this result is true. I mean the definition of sequential continuous at P. So a function defined on a first countable space X is continuous at P belongs to X, if and only if it is sequentially continuous at P. And or I can say that, say if X satisfies C1, I mean if it is first countable, if your topological space is first countable, then F defined from topological space X to Y is continuous at P belonging to X, if and only for every sequence An converging to P, the sequence f of An converges to f of P. And its converse is also true if, I mean, this if and only if, remember that topological space must be first countable. In general, in topological, arbitrary topological space, this one is not true. So now we can also interpret from this above this definition that, see, whenever our topological space is first countable, whenever our topological space is first countable means it has a local countable base at every point P of the topological space, local base at this point P. Then we can index the members BP of N because it is countable. So we can index the member of this basis as say B1, B2, and in general we cannot do, but whenever it is countable, we can know that we can do indexing with the set of natural or its subset indices. So we permit repetitions in the case if members are finite, then one can do its repetition. If in addition, suppose B3 is contained into B2 and B1 and so on, then we have a nested local base at P. We show as a solved example problem that we can always construct a nested local base from a countable local base. So this result we will look at later on, that with the help of this countable local base definition, one can always construct nested local base. I mean nesting is there. B3 Bn minus 1 is Bn plus 1 is contained to Bn and so on for every n. Now try to understand the difference between first countable and second countable spaces. So a topological space X is equipped with a topology script T is called second countable if it satisfies the following axiom called the second axiom of countability or second countable in short. So here definition is that if there exists at least one countable base for the topology. See, in first countable, there should be base for the containing point P. At each point P, there should be local base at each point P. Here it is for countable base for the whole topology on X. So this is the difference. So obviously, if it is a countable base for the whole for the topology on whole X, so obviously it is going to have, from there one can choose some sub collection which contains the point P, and that is going to form again countable base for that P. So this is the reason why every second countable space is first countable. So let us understand with the help of example. So you can see that this one is a globally, because we are talking for the whole topology, countable base generating whole topology. And in the earlier case, we need to look for each P belonging to X. So that is what written here. Observe that second countable is a global rather than local property of a topological space. Now you can read this example 2.1. These are some basic examples to understand the theory properly. So here it is written that class script B, class here stands for the basis. So the basis B of open interval AB with rational endpoints is countable and is base for the usual topology on the real line R. So this we already have studied, that collection of all open intervals of the type AB where AB belonging to Q is going to be base for the topology, standard topology. And since AB is coming from Q, Q is countable, so we have countable choices here. So again, this countable base, this base is countable. So this is the reason that we have at least one basis which is generating the topology, that is standard topology on R, and also this one is countable. However, AB belongs to R is also its basis, but we need a countable, at least one countable basis. So one can choose AB belonging to Q. Now, this example, look at this example. Consider the discrete topology on the real line. Discrete topology means power set, collection of all possible subset phi. So recall that a class script B is a base for the discrete topology if and only if it contains all singleton set. We already know that collection of all singletons where X belongs to R is going to generate the discrete topology. And this one is uncountable. Why? Because X is coming from R and real number is uncountable. But R and hence the class of singleton subsets P of R are non-countable. Okay, here in place of X you can write P because notation P is taken here. So this is uncountable, not countable. So accordingly, R with script D, topology D does not satisfy the second axiom of countability. Why? Because see, there is no basis. This is the basis which is going to generate the topology, discrete topology, but it is not countable. And for second axioms, for second countable axiom, we need at least one basis which is countable and which is going to generate the whole topology. So we don't have this one. Now question is that here, this one is first, why this is not countable? Why this is, okay. So any discrete space is first countable but not second countable. In a discrete space is first countable but not second countable. Okay, so question is that do we have any countable base for the topology, discrete topology here? Countable base. So we don't have any countable base because X is running from R, and if it X is belonging to Q, then it will not be a basis. So this is the reason why. Now, if B is a countable base for the space X, and if script B P consists of the members of B which contains the point P belong to X, then this is a countable local base at P. In other words, one can say that the second countable space is also first countable. But there are examples that first is countable space may not be second countable. For example, this discrete space on the real line R. Okay. Now, so on the other hand, the real line R with the discrete topology does not satisfy C2, I mean second countability axiom, but satisfies C1, so first countable axiom. So R with discrete topology is not second countable, but first countable. Similarly, there are some terms like Lindorff's theorem. So if A is if A is any subset of topological space X and this script A be a class of subset of X such that A is contained the union of E where E belongs to that class, then A is called cover. A is said to be cover of A, and if each member A is an open subset of X, then A is called an open cover of A. Further, if A contains a countable finite subclass which also covers A, then script A is said to be reducible to a countable finite cover, or A is said to contain a countable finite subcover. So this is just like compactness. Here we have countable reducible to countable finite cover. So if finite numbers of countable covers is also going to cover this whole space A, then such spaces are, for every covering, then such spaces are called Lindorff spaces. Now let us try to understand separable spaces. So a topological space X is said to be separable if it satisfies the following axiom. What are those axioms? That any topological space is said to be separable if it has at least one countable dense subset. In other words, X is separable if and only if there exists a finite or denumerable means countable subset, countably infinite, countable subset A of X such that the closure of A is the entire space X. So this is the definition of dense. A is said to be dense in X if closure of A is equal to X, and for countable either it should be finite or countably infinite, and bijection with the set of natural number. So this is what definition of separability. So you can see that the real line R, we know that with usual topology is a separable space Y because the set of rationals, its limit points are rational as well as irrational. Already I have discussed. So this is the reason why its closure is whole R, and Q is also countable. So we will say that R with usual topology or standard topology is always a separable space. Why? Because it has at least one countable dense subset. Q. See, set of irrational, that is also dense, its closure is also equal to R, but that one is not countable. And as per definition, we require at least one. Look here, a topological space X is said to be separable if it satisfies the following. X contains a countable means at least one. So this is the reason why R with a standard topology is separable. Another example, consider the real line R with discrete topology. Recall that every subset of R is both open as well as closed. D open means with respect to discrete topology. And we already know that in discrete topology, every subset is open as well as closed. So the only dense subset of R is R itself, because see, if A is any proper subset of X, and since A is closed as well as open, A is closed, so its closure is going to be equal to itself. So none of the proper subset closure is going to whole R. The only set whose closure is equal to R is R itself, because in discrete topology every subset is closed as well as open. So whenever it is closed, its closure is itself. So this is the reason why. But remember, it is dense. R is a dense subset of R, but it is not countable. We have already studied in real analysis lecture. I have proved that R is not countable set. Hence, R with discrete topology is not a separable space. ठीक है, तो यहाँ तक हम लोगों ने देख लिया कि सेपरेबल का क्या डेफिनेशन होता है. कुछ एग्जांपल समझने के लिए छोटे-छोटे एग्जांपल्स को समझें, फिर उसके बाद हम जो स्टैंडर्ड रिजल्ट्स को करेंगे. So here one can check that the real line R with the topology generated by the closed open intervals. Basically, this lower limit topology is a classic example of separable space which does not satisfy second axiom of countability. So one can check that it will not satisfy second axiom of countability. So the converse of the previous proposition is not true in general. We do have the following special cases that every separable metric space is second countable. Every separable metric space is second countable. Another example is there. Now let us consider a space of all continuous function defined on closed interval 0, 1 and with respect to sup norm. Okay, with respect to sup norm or infinity norm or supremum of mod fx where x is from 0 to 1. So we know that by Weierstrass approximation theorem, given any tolerance, any error, one can approximate any continuous function with the help of polynomial. This is a well-known Weierstrass approximation theorem. So, or I can say that, see, another definition of dense set is one can also express in the terms of open set. That see, if this is x and A is any subset of x, then we will say that A is dense in x if every element of x can be approximated from the members of A. So if you look at this as CAB, if you look at this as CAB, so this is a space of all continuous function, and from there take the polynomials P, PAB. So every continuous function can be approximated by polynomial. This means polynomials are dense in CAB. Polynomials are, but remember that this one is under sup norm. So the collection P of all such polynomials is dense in C01. A collection of all polynomials with rational coefficient, and we know that due to rational coefficient, this set is also going to be countable. Already we have done this in earlier in real maths. But P is a countable set, so C01 is separable, and by theorem 9.6 second countable. So this one we have here a countable dense subset. So this is the reason that this space is separable, and hence separable metric spaces are second countable. We know that norm spaces already metric spaces. The only difference is that norm spaces are defined on vector space. Norm spaces are defined on vector spaces, and with the help of norm one can always get distance by this relation d of xy equal to norm of x minus y. So every norm is a metric space. Now there are some hereditary properties. Those properties, see, a property P of a topological space is said to be hereditary if every subspace of X also possesses property P. We will show that every subspace of a second countable space is a second countable. Every subspace of a first countable space is first countable. I will come to proof of. I will give you the idea of this proof. In other words, the properties C1 and C2. I mean, first countable and second countable are also hereditary. I mean, they are carried to its subspaces. On the other hand, we will show by counter example that a subspace of a separable space need not be separable. So remember that separability is not a hereditary property. I mean, so second countable spaces are separable. Second countable spaces always implies first countable, but converse need not be true. So there are several examples. Now, let me give you a hint how to show that second countable spaces, I mean first countable is carried to, property of first countable is carried to its subset, subspace. Subspace here not of linear algebra. This is basically subset equivalent with subspace topology. So look here that it is written that show that any subspace Y equivalent with the subspace topology script Y of a first countable space X equivalent with the topology script T is also first countable. So we know that Y is subspace of X, and on Y we have the subspace topology. So what will be the topology of how to write open set of this one? We need to bring down all open sets here. Bring down means we need to take intersection of all open sets of script T topology present on X with this Y, say U where U belongs to T. So their collection is basically script T1. So it will help you to understand. The proof is very simple. suppose we need to show that it is first countable. I mean, its subspace is also first countable. So for that, for every p belonging to y, I need to construct local base for every p such that whenever some open set is given, there must be some member from that local base which is contained into that open set. So I need to show that. So let p belongs to y. Since y is subspace of x, so p will be also member of x. By hypothesis, x is first countable. This means there must exist a countable local base at every p. So suppose this bp is the countable local basis for this p belonging to x. Since this is countable, so I can list its member by b1, b2, bn, and for n belonging to n because it's countable. And obviously these are basic. We know that basis members are open, so each of the bn are open. And if we take the intersection of all this bn with y, then basically those will be basis member with respect to the subspace topology on y. So that is what done here. So let us call it bp star by taking intersection of all this bn with y, and this collection is going to form a local base at p with respect to topology script y. I mean the subspace topology on y. So thus we have formed a countable local base here. This is the reason why script bp is star is countable. I mean around each p I can construct this one, a local countable base with respect to the subspace topology on y. ठीक है. उसी तरह से आप अगला प्रूफ देखो. Yes, this one is for nested. Earlier we have studied this result. These are useful results. Let me give you the idea how to do it. So suppose script B is G1, G2, and so on, be a countable local base. See, whenever countable, you can list with the set of natural number or its subset. Be a countable local base at P belonging to S. X show that there exists a nested local base at P. That whenever we have a first countable space, local base at P means then one can always do nesting with the help of this one. So how to do that? Let us look at it. And if X satisfies the first countable exam, then there exists a nested local base at P. This one is for particular for a given basis. And then if a space is first countable, then for every basis we can do nesting. So that is what we tell. So let us define, say, from this G1, let us construct another open set G1 equal to B1, B2 as G1 intersection G2. So obviously G1 intersection G2 will be contained into G1. So that is B2 is contained to B1, nesting is there. Similarly, Bn will be contained to Bn minus 1 and so on. So the nesting is already there. And each BK is open and contains P. Because each of the G1, G2 are containing P, so their intersection will always also contain P. Furthermore, if G is an open set containing P, then suppose, see, as per definition, that if it is first countable, then whenever any open set is given to us which contains P, then there must be from this collection, I must have at least one basis member which contains that say Bn naught, which is contained into this G, which is contained to this G. So that is by definition. So further, and from here you can see that, see, this B2 BK and each BK is open, and further if G is an open set containing P, there exists n naught belong to n such that Bn naught is contained to Gn naught and Gn naught is contained to G. Okay. Actually, see, each of the G1, G2, Gn up to Gn, it will be contained into Bn. Up to Gn, it will be contained into Bn. So each of the intersection. I mean B1, G1 intersection G2. So B2 is contained into B2 is G1 intersection G2. So B2 will contain this. B2 will be contained to G1 as well as G2. Okay, yes, B2 will be contained to G1 as well as G2. So after some n naught belonging to n, one can find that Bn naught will be, one can always do this construction looking at this one such that Bn naught is contained to Gn naught is contained to G. So accordingly, we have the nested local base at P, nested local base at. So if since space is first countable, so if topological space is first countable, then as per definition for every point P, I have a local base, and with the help of local base, I can do nesting. So this will be true for every P, and hence one can do nesting at each point. Or in other words, one can write that if X satisfies the C1 countability, first if X is first countable and P belongs to X, then there exists a countable local base at P, or one can say that there exists a nested local base at P. Okay. So this one is the definition of similarly continuity, sorry convergence. ठीक है, तो इसके बाद यहाँ पे मैं कंप्लीट करता हूँ. इसके बाद तो यहाँ पेज नंबर क्या है, यहाँ से स्टार्ट दोबारा करेंगे पेज नंबर 134 से क्वेश्चन नंबर 3-4. थोड़ा सा इनका मैं आइडिया दे देता हूँ और आप लोग इसे कर लेंगे. इससे बहुत सारे एग्जाम्पल हैं यहाँ पे, इससे भी इम्पोर्टेंट रिजल्ट है. Show that every subspace of a second countable space is second countable. So if it is second countable, then there must be a countable basis which is generating the whole topology, I mean generating the topology on X. And from this, if we take intersection of such basis members with Y, then it will form the basis member for, for this on Y. On Y we have the subspace topology. So it will be base for the topology generating Y. This is the reason why every subspace of a second countable space is second countable. So we already have studied this subspace topology, I mean relative topology. So there is no problem here. Now, before this, I will come to this sequential approach, because this sequential, this result is not always true. This is true only if your topological space is first countable. So this extension of the result in general is not true into arbitrary topological space. Yeah, take this one, Homer Simon. These are very good questions. Question number 4. So that R equipped with cofinite topology satisfy the first axiom of countability. Satisfy the first axiom of countability. Then we will do second countable axiom, separability. There are some important results. Then this one is a very good counter example, that a subspace of a separable metric space need not be separable. That is, separability is not hereditary property. I mean, first countable is hereditary, second countable is hereditary, but separability. So this one is a very good example. You can see here. We already know that R2 is equipped with this one. This lower limit topology is separable. One can prove that this one is so it has a countable local base here. Countable local base, this one is with rational coordinates. So this set in R2 with rational coordinates is dense in R2, but A is countable set, so this is separable. On R2 we have on this R cross R. On this R we have lower limit topology. This one is lower, and the whole R2 is equipped with the product topology. So one can, we already know that if you take this A is equal to Q cross Q, then this one is a countable dense subset, because closure countable dense consisting of all points in R2 with rational coordinates is dense in R2. But yes, so this is separable. But what will happen that look at this, the subspace Y of this R2. X plus Y equals 0 means collection of all those points lying on this line. Then already in relative subspace topology, I have explained that the topology on R2, this Y from R2 will be discrete topology. Why? Because see, if you plot this AB cross CT, this the basis member of this lower limit topology in their respective slot. So this AB closed at A and open at B, and then CD, C and D. And if you take their Cartesian product, then basically we have this type of sets, basis members. So by fixing Y and by varying the basis members of this type, we will get the intersection at this one. Similarly, if I fix this one, if I choose this one, then I will get singleton. Here I will get singleton. So in this way, apart from other set, also we have singleton. And using, see, if you have the basis as singleton, then by taking that union, one can generate any set. So this is the reason why this space has discrete topology. This one is an uncountable discrete space because the number of points lying on this line are basically uncountable. So this is on Y we have the discrete topology, and this set is not countable and hence not separable. So remember that this one is a very good example. See, 13, 14 I'm not explaining here because in subspace topology lecture already I explained all these things in detail. So just here I'm trying to sum up all those results here. All these things I have explained. So remember that first countable is this hereditary property, second countable is hereditary property, but separability is not a hereditary property. Okay, so let me close this lecture here, and then in next lecture I will discuss the remaining one.